This is Operation B, the podcast about living with intention, building what feels true, and dropping the things that don't. A place where purpose meets practice. I'm Jamie Thurber, your host, and together we'll explore how to live with clarity, freedom, and alignment without burning out or losing yourself, because it's time to be who you're meant to be. Let's get into it. This episode of Operation B is brought to you by Premium Kitchen and Bath. Visit premiumkb.com. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Operation B. I'm your host, Jamie Thurber, and today we're joined by Ashley Maland. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before we get started if you don't know. So Ashley she spent many years helping people navigate healing, relationships, identity, self-worth, and what it means to rebuild a life after things that don't feel aligned. Through her content and coaching and willingness to be super vulnerable on social media, she's built almost like, I don't want to say a cult following, but she's built a following of people who go there because they go to her feed and to her page because they know it's going to uplift them. It's going to make them feel less alone, and that she's just being herself. And within that, it's just been very exciting to watch that expand as we've known each other. And so the reason I brought Ashley on today is because we've both been for many, many years in our own personal development journey, and then changed a lot, even just over the last couple of years. So being in that space, there's so much to talk about and just so many things we can identify and just kind of discuss and riff on together. And that was what I was thinking we would do today.
Amen. Let's go.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Of course. Excited. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, wait a minute. I've been on podcast in this building. Why haven't I been on yours?
I know.
And then I was like, this makes sense. Yeah. Obviously.
And everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Timing is everything.
100%. So I was prepping for this last night, kind of thinking about a couple of topics or questions I wanted to ask, get us rolling. And one of them was, what's something that you believe today that you didn't believe 2 years ago?
Ooh.
Because, when we're going through these journeys, right, and we're on social and we're learning with our coaches and we're digesting and taking in all this content, we often, this is it. This is the way.
Yeah.
And then sometimes as we're going through it and learning, we're like, I don't believe that anymore, actually.
I believe, based on 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever, I think I finally believe that I am worthy to be loved for exactly who I am right now in this moment. Whether it's whether I'm imperfect, whether I'm thriving, whether I'm struggling, whatever the circumstances may be from day to day, that I'm actually enough right now. I believe that now, and I don't think I did a couple years ago.
No, I could definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I remember even language that you didn't realize that you were having, and we all do that. It's not like you're alone in that journey. Yeah. But it's like if I have that, I'm like, what is wrong with what we have now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely embrace that in a cool way.
It's been a roller coaster ride on that front because, even still, there are days when I'm like, I still have those thoughts that come into my mind. I think we all do, right? We all wrestle with our internal dialogue. Mine was really negative. Mine was really sad and depressing. And it's like, of course I'm depressed. My inner dialogue is horrible.
Yeah.
But I'm really learning to not take every thought as my own anymore.
Yeah.
And to instill into myself, speak life into myself. Mm-hmm. So that even when those voices seem really loud, there's the other part of me that's going, that's not true.
Yeah.
You actually are incredible. You actually are a great person. You actually are thriving. You actually do have incredible things coming for you. You do have good things right now. I've learned to replace those thoughts, regularly. Mm-hmm. It took me a while to get to that point where it became my natural default to fight against those negative thoughts. Before it was just like they came and I sat with them and I dwelled on them and I believed them. And then there was a season where I was like, I can't do that anymore. And so I started trying to fight them, but it took time to reprogram my mind to even do that naturally. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, it's a system. I remember when I first started my business and I had to reprogram my thought patterns to believe that I could actually make my own money, and I was allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I was allowed to do it my way, because something I've noticed that happens, and it happened to me then, is people will leave a regular job and start their own business, and then they're still operating under those hours, under those expectations, without realizing they're doing it, just because we're programmed to do it that way. So I had to use journaling and affirmations and resets, and I lived by myself at the time, which I felt like honestly, not living alone now, it's been more difficult for me to reset my thought patterns and some of the voices that I'm reworking right now.
Yeah.
When I was alone all the time, it was so much easier.
Yeah. Because you're focused on yourself.
I can catch it like more in the moments. And that's how I actually rewrote the thought process to even say I could have an online business. I could have a following. I could have created this world at the time where I'd traveled all over the country for conferences and speaking and all those things.
Yeah.
And it was all just learning that I had to rewrite the narrative.
And honestly, I'm realizing that more and more too, as I, gain more, success in my life, is that the only difference and versus my old self versus my new self, but also the only difference between the people that aren't where they want to be and the people that are is the belief that they can.
Yeah.
The belief that they're enough to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And that, like, you don't know how powerful that belief is until you live it,
Yeah. It's interesting. The other day, a couple things have happened to me recently that have been actually involving some of the same people, which is, it has nothing to do with them, but it's just interesting the way that it has come up. Because one of them was, we were at this fancy event for like a charity thing. And he was having a really bad day and just like a lot, like when I say a lot going on, it's like things that we couldn't even fathom to have to deal with. Very real, like I don't even know how he does. And then like the salad wasn't what he was supposed to have. The meal that he got was like super dry, not what he wanted. Like just a bunch of really, like everybody else's was great and was super happy. And like everything that he was served was like not correct.
And you're like, what the heck?
Yeah. And somebody at the table was like, well, maybe it's the energy. Oh. He didn't really hear that. I did. And I was like, oh, damn.
Ouch.
And I was like, shit, like in real time, well, and there's so much. And if we let our mind, we can let our mind 100% believe that, and we can let our mind completely debunk that in that moment. But what's funny is then another, like a couple months later, I had a moment, I saw like a glimpse of something, same situation, same people, of this beautiful life. And like, this is why I work so hard. And I had a really hard time with it because I looked around at my life at the moment and I was like, I work really freaking hard and I don't see none of that shit for me.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's where I've been recently, and I catch myself, and I know we talked a little bit about this, about like we have to move on like really close chapters.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard when you're still dealing with like the bleeding, right? Like you're still in triage, like things are bleeding that you're actually having to deal with. So that juggle of the mindset thing, it never stops. Like it's a continuous thing we do as we evolve and different situations happen in our worlds, I think.
I recently came across this thought. I don't remember where, probably TikTok or something. And it got me thinking about all kinds of things in my own life and my own beliefs just growing up in my early 20s, even in my 30s. And I think this will be really helpful for you too. Mm-hmm. And I think this is for everyone. It's not even just for women, but for men and women. There is this weird concept that we all have that the only way to success or to truly end up where we want to be is that we have to suffer to get it. Mm-hmm. We have to earn it to get it. Mm-hmm. And what if none of that is true?
Dude, it's not true.
What if we actually don't have to suffer to get where we want to be? What if it's so much easier than that? And what if pain isn't a prerequisite to success? Right?
That's the hack right there. It's not easy. I'm not there.
I know. And
like as much as I want to believe it.
I've spent my whole life too. Same thing. I was like, I have to earn it the hard way. I have to earn being enough. I have to earn being loved. I have to go through so much pain to be successful and to matter. And it's like, wait, why? Who said that?
It's such an American thing. Like if you know, if you look at people that live in other countries or Europe and like the way they do life and the way that they look at the world,
things flow.
It's drastically different.
Yeah.
Their worth is not in any way, shape, or form attached to their work.
Yeah.
They are a human being before they are said profession. We're not taught that way.
Yeah.
It is, and I know you grew up with a dad like I have that worked his ass off.
Yeah, he did.
Still does. Like you watch that. Family members, brothers, like everybody works really hard. And so it's like that's what you know and learn. You want things, you do that. But I know, so Amanda Francis says this all the time, like we have to break the mindset that you have to suffer before you get the abundance.
Yes.
Like it's not, and it's so difficult. And I've struggled with it because I've had hard things happen. So this is the part. I would love to hear your feedback on this because it's such a real thing that I think we live in this world where I feel like the internet kind of tells people that you're supposed to, and it feels delirious. Like if you're, so do you know that on June 6th last year is when I signed the paperwork for this company?
Oh.
Yeah, so 2 days from now.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Huge deal. And then my whole world exploded because it was all a fucking lie. Like, and then I've dealt with that for that period of time. Realistically, that has been terrible. Like it's been a mess. There's been very beautiful moments. I've found my core team that I probably would have never found another way. And it's realistically been really shitty.
Yeah.
But I feel like the internet tells you that you should act as though the shittiness is not real. Mm-hmm. And so then you're living in this weird, I like live in this weird tension of gratitude because I know that I have plenty of things to be grateful for and I want that energy. And then like the reality of, I'm not like self-loathing in it, but I'm sitting in going, okay, black and white, this is where we are. And so it's like a difficult place to be when there's actually a real out of your control hard thing happening that you have to work through. It's like the mindset thing, it's hard.
But Jamie, what if...
This is why I put it to you this way. I'm waiting. I'm excited.
What if the only reason all of that happened was because God knew of all the people that could come in, you would be the one that could handle it?
Well, yeah, I do believe that. And then sometimes I'm like, hey, okay, can we...
But what if there was a lesson even there that you still hadn't learned for yourself?
Yeah.
And what if because of the lesson that you end up ultimately learning because of this, when this blows up, that's the reason why?
Yeah.
And in the moment, it feels like, no, I don't want to go through all of this. This sucks. This is hard. This is awful. What if there are things you are learning that are so fundamental to where this company goes that without it, a company could have never gone there?
Yeah. And it's interesting, though, because then that's the piece that's a mind fuck, because then it's like, but it doesn't have to be hard for it to be good. Those are the parts that are so hard.
No, it doesn't have to be hard to succeed, but life is hard.
True, it is.
Like,
being a human
life
is not easy.
is hard. Lessons are hard, even when we don't want them to be, but they're still fundamental to who we are.
Yeah.
And think of anyone that you admire, right? It doesn't mean they had to suffer to get where they are, but there was still suffering involved in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Well, even if it's a struggle, like I just talked about, my struggle, quote unquote, was to know that I could earn my own money.
Yeah.
Like in the reality, really.
Or my gift is to know that I can earn my own money.
Yeah, exactly.
My opportunity is that I can earn my own money.
Yeah.
Like my blessing is that I can earn my own money. Mm. You know?
Yeah.
I'm glad we're talking about this because that's where I'm at right now too, where I'm like, okay, what if I shifted my focus on everything? Mm-hmm. What if my perspective changed on everything? You know? And what would happen?
Not to keep bringing her up, but this reminds me of like, this is definitely an Amanda Francis kind of conversation. If you guys don't know who she is, look her up.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
Every reel, you'll be like, oh my God,
yeah,
like a better person.
She's a boss babe.
So in such a self-made, organic, real sort of way. But I remember I sat in a wealth class with her once and she was talking about how grateful she is. She was like, do I love that I have to pay this dollar amount in taxes? No. But am I like, what does that dollar amount in taxes mean? It means that I've created this beautiful life. I've helped thousands of women. I have this much money. So I'm looking at going, here you go. Here's your check, IRS. Yeah. I'm happy to give it to you because that check is a sign of all of these other things where 95% of people are bitching and moaning and complaining about their taxes. Mm-hmm. When in reality, those taxes only are owed because you have a company that's paying other people's bills, that's helping other families survive, that's providing a service. You know, like it's a tricky place to be. And so I think the thing that we could really maybe bring home for people in this conversation is the fact that it's okay for you to be like, wow, today was horrible. Like that was really hard. And I'm going to let myself like accept that and sit in it. And then tomorrow we shift and we do a different thing. Instead of being like, well, I'm never going to say I had a bad day. Like, I'm so grateful that today was horrible. Like, you know, it's like a difficult.
And I created this analogy for myself, so I'm really proud of it. And I think about this a lot. I think about it every time I get in my car now. It's like this. Life is what is directly in front of you, right? We know that they call it being in the present. They call it focusing on the future, whatever terms you want to use. But life lives here. right in front of us, right? When you're driving your car, are there other cars that could literally take your life? If they bump into you, could they take you off the road and take your life? Yes.
In a second.
When you see a semi, do you not get a little bit like, as you're going, like, I always do. Every time I pass a semi, I'm a little bit tense because I'm like, I know that this could be the end if something were to go wrong.
Yeah.
But if I take my focus off of what's right here in front of me, even knowing, yeah, there's all this over here. This could go really wrong. This could screw up everything. This could take my life. This could derail me in a million different ways. But if I turn my eyes to look at that, the thing that could go wrong, the thing that is going, that thing that might be going wrong, instead of staying right here, knowing it's there, being aware of it. But if I take my eye off of it and look at it and focus on that instead, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah, you're going to go that way.
I am certain for things to blow up. Like there is no way you cannot stay on the road right here if you take your eye off of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a life lesson because we get so caught up in all of this. And that's the thing that derails us. It's not that it's happening. It's going to happen no matter what because life is life. There is struggle. There are challenges. There are obstacles. There is pain. There is suffering. There's all these things. They are a prerequisite to living. But you still can be aware of them while staying focused on what's right here, right now. And if you do that,
I have so many.
You're going to get where you're going.
Man, and the funny thing is like 5 years ago, Jamie, 8 years ago, Jamie, like you could go find other episodes of this exact show where I'm going eyes forward. Yeah. It doesn't matter, eyes forward. Because it's the truth. It's really the only way to get there. And it's interesting because in those moments, like I decided, I guess I loved that, I'm a sucker for a new week and a new month. You know this.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, new month. We just pretend like we're just fresh slate. Here we go.
And you are.
And so the fact that June started on a Monday just sat so well with me. I was like, oh, June, like we're doing things this year. Me and you, we're going to do things this year. And it's, we've had some stupid things happen in the last few days, but also some really beautiful things.
Yeah.
And I'm impatient at the moment on some of them. I feel very frustrated about how hard I work and how little recognition I tend to get in things.
Yeah.
But that's also, again, part of an old situation, like putting out a fire, cleaning up after a hurricane, you know, like that is what it is. And so I remember something you said earlier really hit me because you were there for the conversation. Do you remember when I was choosing whether or not I was going to buy this company? And I said to you that I was talking to Tony about him.
Yeah.
And he said, you deserve a chance to do everything you're so good at for everyone else, for yourself.
Yeah.
And so as trying as it may have been, it was, I've used every tool I have, every skill set I've ever created, I've used on this. And it's scary and it's different and it, involved my other company. I pay one person. Yeah. And this I pay many.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting, but it has opened up so many things. Like I think about, I was getting a little negative last night about a couple things and I was like, you know what? Like I wouldn't have been to this club. I wouldn't have met the people that are here. I wouldn't have joined Adventure Unknown. I wouldn't have met all of our team members. I wouldn't have met Monica. I wouldn't, like these people who light us up and that really truly support us. Like I've had myself sit at a table with people who are all impacted by the shit of this situation and everybody looking at each other going, this isn't where we are anymore.
Yeah.
This is can't you see this is a new place? Like we move forward. And I was like, damn, I'm going to cry in this boardroom right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's just a constant, I think what I want people to get out of this conversation the most is that it's a constant catching yourself. It's a constant, that feeling is okay. And like you said, back on the road. Because if I go over here, I might fall off that cliff.
That's right. You will.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, you will.
Yeah. Or like when you're on the bridge and you're like, wow, if I turn my car just a smidge, like it could be over right now.
Exactly. But I know. But here's the thing. You don't have to. And you can actually trust yourself not to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the other part. And with you.
Yeah.
Guess what? 1 year and 2 days. And guess what? You're still here.
Yeah.
And things are still running. And they're running better than they were.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of promise and a lot of hope and a lot of things that are coming that are only going to magnify it even more. And guess what? You were there for it all.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't feel like 80% of that time it was going to end up where you wanted it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? You did.
Yeah.
You did it.
I did.
You did it. You're still here. It's still moving. It's only getting better.
Yeah. I could say right back at you, really.
Yeah, facts.
Right? And you've been here the whole time too, which is beautiful. I think one of the things I love the most about podcasting and about creating your own content is that you get to have a little bit of a say in the narrative.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of, this is the only way for you to feel better. This is the only way for you to get rich. This is the only way, blah, 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 right? Yeah. To get followers, to get whatever the thing is that you want. Peace. You must get a flip phone and, no cable. Like, I don't know, whatever it is. And I think the thing, and I see you do it as well, and sometimes it can get heavy, but the idea is like, I get to help. I get to choose to not be part of that noise. And I wish more people took that as seriously as you do.
Yeah. I don't even know if I take it seriously necessarily. Weirdly enough, I don't really have an expectation for myself because I'm just really content in doing it.
I think a lot of times what I catch is you're saying what you want someone to say to you, which is what you're not alone. You're not an island. Like if you would like to hear it, there's plenty of other people, obviously, based on the interactions that want to too. Yeah.
As much as we'd like to think we're really unique in our problems, the truth is that we're all kind of going through the same things.
For sure.
So whatever I'm going through, whatever I need to hear in that moment, speaking it out loud only helps 10,000 other people that are going through the exact same thing.
Yeah. I used to think hot tubs were just for fancy vacations or luxury houses. But then I met Angie at Spas and More, this family-owned and operated business right here in St. Louis. She showed me how these master spas aren't just luxurious, they're about wellness. I actually got to try one out in their showroom, and it made me realize how much better I feel after a soak. If you want to experience what actually fits your lifestyle, go see Angie and her team in Sunset Hills. It's like test driving your own wellness. Visit Spas and More in Sunset Hills or online at spasandmorestl.com. So on that subject, what do you think, or is there anything that you've been seeing more of lately that you feel like, oh, finally, people are getting it. This is the narratives needed to go here more on a larger scale?
In life in general, online, my personal?
I think online, just because a lot of what it's reflective of what's going on in life, and then people are telling you their stories. They're telling you their situations. And so I'm thinking if there's anything you've noticed, like I feel like those are the hopeful things.
In a more like broad spectrum, what I'm noticing is this huge shift in people realizing how both beautiful and complicated love is. I know that's maybe off the subject, but I talk so much about love on my stuff. And I'm learning so much about love myself. And again, maybe off the subject of what we were talking about earlier, but I think love is why we're here. I believe that we are here to love. We are here to show God's love. We are here to let God's love exist within us and let it exude from us like a light, like a lighthouse in this world. And I see more and more online that kind of like infiltrating the world in this really beautiful way. And then of course there's the contrast to that too. There's a lot of really ugly, dark, awful things too. But I see so many people coming into that space of like, I am loved. I am enough. And therefore I can love other people. And again, I don't know if that's relevant to any of the rest of our conversation, but it's really beautiful for me to see that as I'm learning it and exuding it to the best of my ability and trying to teach other people that too. I do see a real shift happening in our world in that way. And it's so unbelievable and hopeful.
I wonder if it's something that just hit me when you said that might be what some of like even the content that I'm seeing is trending towards this. I think it's a little bit more focused on living instead of only processing.
Instead of grinding and dwelling.
Or just, we're just constantly processing what happened. We're constantly processing what we want to happen, what should happen.
Yeah.
That's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
And sure, you know me, like there's a time and a place. Like that's the thing. And if you're not living, that's something I've watched you shift from.
Yeah, I'm a big feeler.
I know. And I got to sit with this and work through it. And it's like, what if you instead did went outside and took a walk.
Well, that's the thing. I think so. And it's to no fault of anyone's own. I don't think for a long time, up until recently in the last 10, 15 years, people even had the tools. They didn't know how.
Yeah.
Right. And I love seeing that we're finding ways to do that. Like, I didn't know 10 years ago that sitting in the sun for 10 to 15 minutes a day would actually boost my mood.
No. Yeah.
I didn't know that when I had a big emotion or feeling that, one, I was allowed to feel it without having to feel a ton of shame for it, right? Because that was another thing. People are ashamed of having feelings. Like, what? You're a human being. Feel it. Please, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of everyone else, feel it, process it, let it exist. Don't shame it. Don't push it away. Let it be what it's supposed to be and let it work itself through your body. And then get outside, get some sun, move your body. Like, go give somebody a compliment, and I guarantee you're going to feel like a different person. Maybe not that day.
Yeah.
Maybe not that day.
It's because it's too simple. There's no way that's really going to work.
I know,
it's
right?
too simple.
Going with the idea of, like, maybe you don't have to suffer so much.
Yeah.
I was such a sufferer. Like, my friend used to call me an emotional cutter. She was like, she's like, I love, like, but she was so right. Like, if I was, like, sad or just feeling a little bit off, instead of going, okay, instead of realizing, wait, I actually have a choice. I feel a little sad this morning, but maybe there are some things I could do to try to not feel sad today, right? Like, some things you can't avoid.
Sure.
But sometimes you're just kind of in a weird mood and it has nothing to do with anything, and you're allowed to go, I actually don't want to feel sad today if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Maybe there are some things that I can do for myself. Maybe I could drink some water. Maybe I can get some protein. Maybe I can get outside. Maybe I can move my body. Maybe I can listen to music that makes me feel good about myself. Maybe I can meditate. Maybe I can pray. And then just see how I feel. And then if I'm still sad, okay, allow it to be there for whatever reason. But most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, you're not anymore. And then you're like, oh, wait, I actually have a lot more power and control over myself and my emotions than I thought I did.
And that that fits right back into what you were saying that you think has changed so much, of you accepting and believing that you are worthy right now.
Yeah.
Because you used to say, I'm sad. I'm going to go get a blanket and I'm going to go sit with sad because I need to.
And sometimes you do.
And sometimes you do.
Yeah.
But there was definitely, here's the deal. It takes courage to get up and go outside when you're sad. It takes courage to go see if you can change it, because what if you can't? That's scary. You know, there's all these aspects. So sometimes for people, it just feels easier for them to sit in it. And I think that's why we get caught in that sometimes.
I was very comfortable in pain.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really weird. There was a part of me subconsciously that wanted to be in pain all the time, that wanted to be suffering.
Well, it was what you were used to. It was the norm.
It was what I knew. It was familiar to me, like painful experiences, hurt. Like, that was familiar for me. And that sucks, and it's really sad to say. But I didn't know that I had a choice. I really didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. You know, I don't want to take our conversation to, like, our past talks about trauma and those things, but, like, that's what it is. And that's why it's so hard to get out of it, is because people don't realize, like, even if that thing is not actually safe for you, to you and to your body, because it's been there, that's your safe place.
Yeah.
And so moving away from it is very, very challenging, and it takes a lot of time, which I know you talk to the people that you mentor about this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you're not alone. You're not crazy. Like, and
your thoughts are lying to you most of the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The hard part for me is when my thoughts are supported by facts. That's where I get twisty, right? Where I'm like,
but what are facts? I mean, maybe there are facts in that moment.
But also, can I change that fact?
Yeah.
Like, maybe that yesterday, how that went down yesterday. Yeah, that is exactly how it went down. You're right. Fact. Does it mean, what are the 17,000 other ways that could have gone?
Yeah. And can I trust myself to work through this and find another way? Absolutely. 100%. You have proven that to yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's also another thing that builds your confidence that I'm learning too, is like proving to myself that I can trust myself.
Yeah. When you say you're going to do something and you do it, it's wild. I used to tell people in my coaching, the programs I used to do, every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't, you're proving to yourself that you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, it's true. I
heard this analogy the other day, and it blew my mind. This girl was like, okay, if you were in a relationship with someone and they told you every day, I'm going to do this, and then they didn't do it, would you trust them? No, not at all. So if in the relationship you have with yourself, if you tell yourself, I'm going to do this every day, and you don't do it, do you think you're going to trust yourself?
No.
No.
Nope,
and
you're
it's
trusting yourself to believe you're full of crap.
You're also in a relationship with yourself, and you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind knows you better than your conscious mind does.
Yeah.
So your subconscious, every single time you say to yourself, I'm going to do this, and you don't, your subconscious mind is like, check, don't trust myself.
Yep. I must not really want that.
Yeah.
100%. Like we've talked about the universe, right? Giving mixed signals. I remember one time one of my mentors, Greg, was talking about how if you look at abundance as a one-way street, you can't get both. Yeah. Like if you're trying to work through things or do life and you're trying to get abundance and it's a one-way road, like you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because they can't happen at the same time. Like it's going to be a head-on collision. You're not going to get it. And he was like, what if instead you looked at it as a 4-lane highway, wide open, lots of room for everything to go both ways that it needs to go. You're giving and receiving, not giving to receive because you're never going to receive because the road's always blocked with the giving.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he used to hit me with some stuff where I'm like, man, you're so right. I'm like,
yeah,
shit.
It's so true. And being so clear. Like, God, this has been such a revelation for me. So anyone who's listening, I hope you take this in. If you don't know who you want to be, then you can't be who you're supposed to be. If you don't know where you want to go, then you can't get to where you want to go. And I spent a lot of my life just in so much ambiguity of like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I want to be. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know what I want to do. So of course I wasn't going to achieve those things. How can I achieve the things that if I have no idea, if there is no goalpost, like if there's no goalpost, I can't reach it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been really working on that in the last year of like, okay, who do I want to be? Mm-hmm. Like who is true to me? Yeah. And the more that I get clear on that, the more I become it. Mm-hmm. And where do I want to go? And I'm still working on that. I'm still figuring out the details of where I want to go with my path and my calling and the things I have. And also not being afraid to dream of how big that can be. Mm-hmm. Like being able to go, okay, if I can dream it, I can have it.
I remember the day that you realized that you never had a dream for yourself because you didn't think that it just never was a conversation you'd ever had. And I was like, oh, my heart.
Yeah.
Whew.
I didn't have a dream for myself. I didn't know I could.
Yeah.
And now it's like so big. Like and I think the heart posture matters too. Like I really believe your heart posture matters because if you're doing things out of like selfish motivation or out of like taking from others, out of getting ahead to be better than other people. If you're doing anything out of ego, you'll never be fulfilled when you get there. And so for me, it's like, I know I want to change the world, but not just for me, but because I have a daughter, because I want to, when I leave this world, I know people are only going to remember my name for so long before it vanishes, right? Sure. But I hope that the impact I have lasts forever. In a positive ripple effect on the world. And that is my goal, right? Like, and so with that being my goal, now I can get specific of how do I make that happen now? Yeah. Right? But who do I also have to be in order to make that happen? And I have to get really true to myself, really, really loving and gracious with myself because I can't give those things if I don't have them for me.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think something that you said made me think about the fact like ego-driven action is actually also very confusing. Yeah. Because it's like, people might not say out loud what the driving force is underneath of that thing, but it's not clear to what you're asking to receive. Yeah. So even that, like we all know people that just exist in that place because it's a safe space for them. They feel protected by it. But if you're operating out of ego only because you want to have the things and say that you've done whatever, you might have all the cars you want and whatever, but you're not happy and you don't have worth and that stuff could leave in a minute. Yeah. You don't feel good about what you're doing. That could go in a minute. Yeah. People are constantly fearful they're going to lose something because they've built it from a place of ego. Yeah. They've built it from a place of not real because they're just like wanting to try to look a certain way. Right. And that's a house of cards. We've watched it happen too many times. I'll never forget Dan Clark. He's an exceptional man and he's a tech guy, but he started doing, speaking and stuff, but he was talking about a conference I was at and he was like, asking people various questions about what they did and why and things like that. He's like, let me tell you what. He was like, I have however many Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Like, he's a very big car guy. He's like, I know more men who have called me from their Lamborghini or their Ferrari crying, contemplating suicide than you can count.
Yeah.
So none of that shit matters.
Yeah, it's true.
And the thing that Dan does is he's always smiling. He's always happy. He's funny. He's doing things he enjoys. He helps people. Yeah, he has a lot of money. But the other things are also, that's who he is. That's what, when you meet him, that's what you remember.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. That was probably like 12 years ago that I heard him say that in a conference. And I was like,
so
damn.
True. Like, if the goal is, I really want to be rich, there's a chance you might get rich, but you probably won't stay rich. Right?
You probably won't be happy.
And you won't be happy because once you hit it, it's like, okay, now there's nothing left.
Yeah.
I hit it and now what? Right? But if the goal is, I want to build wealth so that I can give back to the world in a really powerful and meaningful way.
Well, that's one of the things that some of the women that I learned from talk a lot about, where getting wealth in the hands of women.
Yeah. Facts.
It's just a different breed.
It sure is.
It hits different. It builds different. When women, like, if you can look through history, you can look right now, the richest women in the world or in America, and what they're doing with their money is vastly different.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Where people don't think about it like that because they don't know the concept. Like I don't remember what it was. I think I quoted Oprah Winfrey a while back, like on a post, and I had somebody light me up. Light me up, because it was like right after there was a big storm or something that happened in Hawaii. And they're like, she's a billionaire and she has all this land in Hawaii and she's not even helping. And I'm like, okay, first of all, we don't balance her checkbook.
Yeah, we have no idea what she's actually doing.
100%. I know plenty of people who have a lot of money who do a lot of good things that no one knows about.
Exactly. Most of the time.
Most of the time. And I'm like, but the things that we do know that she does for the public and for like young girls and Africa and different parts of the world and things that she donates to, like, why are we choosing to attack this woman, this Black woman, from nothing that grew her life into this empire, into this thought leader who's interviewed the most amazing people of the last couple of decades? Why?
Yeah.
That woman is doing great things with her wealth. And
even if she wasn't.
Why? Does it matter?
My focus is on where I'm going right now. My focus is on helping people, not worrying about who isn't.
Agreed. But if you're looking at, I'm like thinking to myself, man, you could shift that and use that woman as like a place to take a breath.
Yeah.
You know, or an inspiration, or a see what that is. She's an incredible interviewer. You and I have talked about this a million times.
Oh, yeah, she's
and
an
like watching
interviewer.
her interview is a great study if you're trying to interview people. And she built that. That's the nice part. Like, that's a skill set.
Against all odds.
I live with a man who had to learn to be, he is very, very good on film quickly. But he learned that. It's a skill that he cultivated.
Literally. Yeah.
And so when I see that, I'm going, oh, and I watch the players that I work with, the hockey players, and they do the same thing. They're a regular guy, and then all of a sudden it's on and they do a good job because they work at it.
Yeah.
And it's wild when you think about it. But back to the wealth in the hands of women. I think that the beauty of that is when we're able to like feel like you and I, when I said that, the energy shifted in this room.
Yeah.
There's like a camaraderie piece to it. It's not like she has more than me.
No,
it's like, oh, I love this. I love that we're even saying it out loud. I love that we're even thinking about it.
There is not a competitive bone in me because I genuinely know my lane is mine and no one can take it from me. Mm-hmm. Whatever is for me is going to be for me. And when God says it's for me, there's nothing that anyone can take from me. And I'm not competing. I hope we're all doing it. Yeah. I want us all to thrive and succeed and to give and to grow and to build and to love and to hold out a hand to each other, because that's the whole point. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do that. Whether they do or not, that's on them. But when I see it, it makes me happy. Yeah. So I don't need to compete. I have my own thing, my own life, my own story, my own path. Like, there's no such thing as competition if you're all in it for the right reasons, you know?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Or at least there doesn't need to be. I shouldn't say there's no such thing of it. There doesn't need to be. There's space for all of us. I hate it when people say, oh, that market's too saturated. I don't care what it is for. It could be you're in sales now and the market's too saturated. No. If God put you there, then there's something that can be done by you that other people couldn't do.
Well, and it's also just a mindset. That's a scarcity mindset thing. It's like, it's a great way for you to never have the things that you say that you want.
Yeah.
You know, you sure could look at it that way.
Yeah.
And you'll probably never achieve the things that you say that you want if that's the way you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I started coaching, it was just like a newer thing in the social media world. And I had those thoughts, of course, where I'm like, why would somebody want to talk to me when they could go talk to this other lady who has 5 more years experience than me and she's already making a ton of money and, you know, is traveling all over the place. Like, why would somebody hire me?
Right.
What I started learning as I was hiring people and people were hiring me and I was going to conferences and stuff was I watched who resonated with me, but versus who I actually wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And the different tiers of things. And so it's like, there's a person for everybody. And I've watched it happen for over a decade now. So I can flat off like say, I've watched this occur and it's just the truth. And I tell people, and I've told you this from the beginning of our relationship, as long as you don't quit, it will work.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's right.
I've had the privilege of being in rooms with some powerful people over the past 6 to 9 months. And I've heard it many times from those same people who've been building billion-dollar businesses for decades. As long as you don't quit, it'll work. Like you keep looking, there's a problem, you pivot, you solve it, you need to learn a thing, you hire a person, you figure it out. Like as long as you don't quit, it will work. It's the same thing with fitness and diets and skincare routines.
It's like life has given us so many examples of how that's true.
100%. It goes right back to the mindset thing of trusting ourselves and being a human being is very complex and it is very difficult. Like it's not an easy world that we live in. Even if we went back to where there was no technology, there's still a fear of dying almost every place you go. You could fall down and die anytime. Something could eat you. Something could hit you. Like a storm could sweep you away. Like this is just the human experience.
That's right. You can't avoid that.
It's just the human experience. And I think the TV and, you know, the instant access to everything has like made us forget that that's what we're here for, is to have a human experience.
We're here for the process.
Yeah.
We're actually not even here really for the end goal. Because you may not ever get there.
What is the end goal?
Yeah, you may be alive for 30 years of your life. You may be alive for 60. We don't know. But if you don't enjoy the process and it's always about just the goal, then you miss all of your life.
It's always the in-betweens. We've talked about this before too. It's always the in-betweens. That's where you learn the lessons. That's where you realize that you were already doing the thing usually before. You're like, oh, I was living that whole last period of time and I didn't even realize it.
Romanticize it now.
Yeah.
Like the process of like, wow, like 3 years ago, I was a completely different person. And maybe I have way more goals yet ahead of me. I still do. And I have a lot of things that are going to come up in this next year that are going to be so cool and amazing. But wow, look at where I am today. In comparison, this is insane. This is amazing. This is beautiful. This is inspiring even myself.
Well, we have the choice. And that's the scary part too, though. You know, it is very scary. We can make a different decision. You and I could both walk out of this room today and choose a totally different life if we wanted to.
Yeah.
It would be hard, but we could do it.
Yeah.
Anybody can. You could leave here, go dye your hair blonde, say that you want people to call you Brandy, and like...
I will not be doing that.
And, you know what I mean? But you sure could choose to if you wanted. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's wild. And it is kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
You could go rob a bank if you wanted to. Like, anything, they're all choices, which are scary. If someone was listening to this, what is something you'd want them to take away from it?
Ooh. What I want every person to take away, just in life in general, is that it doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter who you think you are right now. It doesn't matter how far the life that you would love to live seems. You can truly have anything. You can be anyone you want to be. There is nothing in this life holding you back but yourself. And I know that because you can take two people with the exact same story and one of them will conquer and one of them won't. It is about the belief that you have in yourself, that you can and you will. And this is coming from a girl who grew up in a town of maybe 2,000 people, like in a broken family. I was the first person to graduate high school on an entire side of my family. One of the only few that didn't end up in jail or prison, that didn't become an alcoholic. And it's not because I'm special. It's not because I'm different than you. It's not because I had more opportunity. It's because at some point I realized that, you know what? I'm just as worthy of all these things that I can dream about as anyone else. And I might look at someone and say, oh, they're a multi-billionaire and they're just smarter. They had more access. They had a family that, you know, was beautiful and uplifted them. Well, yeah, that may be true, but they're no different than me. On the inside, we're made of the same things. We have the same fears, same faults, the same struggles. Like, we all live the same human experiences, and there is nothing out of your reach. Healing is not too good for you. Love is not too good for you. Success is not too good for you. Purpose is not too good for you. Like, God will use you no matter what. If you surrender your life and say, you know what, I believe it. I believe it for myself, and I believe I can make a difference. And if you're willing to use me, God, my life is yours. I promise you, you will be amazed at what you can do. That's what I would say.
Yeah. It's the openness. You should be open to opportunities to maybe not always show up the exact way that you think they're going to. It shows up a little differently. Yeah. But you have to be like, wait a minute, that could work.
Yeah.
That actually
get in the heart set of, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start saying yes, even if I don't feel ready, even if I feel afraid, even if I don't feel worthy in that moment or enough. I'm just going to say yes and see what in the heck happens.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You know?
Mm-hmm. It's a permission slip sometimes we need.
Yes, for yourself.
100%. And that's what coaches do the most, is give people permission slips to be themselves and to have the conversation and to make the decision and to go further, grow your company, whatever it is. Say no, say I'm done, walk away. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes we need a permission slip. So I think if we can get a little bit more used to giving it to ourselves, that's the
only permission slip you need.
Exactly. And if you know you need one, like, figure out your little methodology to get yourself there every time you know that that's the feeling. Something that I've been doing a lot lately is noticing, wait, this feels familiar. What did I do with it last time? Did I like that, or do I want to do it different? Yeah. And then that's how I've been choosing to take actions, and it's actually been really cool.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll end there, babe.
Okay.
Just because we could go on for hours about so many things.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
So many things, yes. So as always, guys, thank you so much for being here and for listening to this, whatever it is that we have to pour into your mind today. And if you like this message, please make sure that you leave us a comment, that you give it a like, and share it with somebody that you think may benefit from it. And make sure you go follow Ashley. We'll put her links below, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Operation B, the podcast. To support this message and to support the show, please make sure that you like, follow, and share wherever you enjoy listening. And be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. That's the way to support this message. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.